Yeah, hey guys. So just to summarize what we did yesterday, basically what happened is we created our QA repositories to our container, and then we deployed our employee domain or model to that repository, as well as we defined the structure of the employee model to include social security number, first name, and last name. And then in addition to that, what we did is we created a match rule to match on social security number. So if two records have the same social, the second one should be rejected. So from there, what I mentioned is I wanted to create a source. So as we mentioned, a source is essentially a service, an endpoint that is constantly communicating to MDM to push and pull records. So let's create our source. So I'm just going to call it NetSuite because NetSuite is a good example of a source. And let's just call the source ID NS. So here's our source. So now if we go back to our repository, for the employee model, we want to have a NetSuite source. So essentially what this means is that NetSuite can contribute and accept updates from MDM for the employee model. So sources, let's attach our source. So here's our source, NetSuite. So you can set it up to contribute data, accept channel updates, or both. I'm going to say both because I want it to, as it says, do both. So there's other validations for both inbound and outbound updates that you can include, but just for now, I'm going to have the default values. So I'm going to attach this. Great. Awesome. So now that my source is set up, as you can see, there's no pending transactions, and it's not fully set up yet because we'll explain like soon, and essentially that'll be one of the next topics is how to enable initial load for a source. So we're going to, I'll kind of cover what initial load is, and essentially from there, how to get valid records into the repository for that. But as of right now, we have our source set up. We have it set up for our employee model and our QA repository. So you may be wondering as well, how do I get credentials or what URL am I going to use to actually contribute and accept updates from MDM? So if you go to the repository itself, if you go to configure, here's our username and here's our auth token. So the username would be your username and the password is your auth token. So next time we're going to set this up to essentially enable our initial load, get proper authentication, and set up our source for that. All right, sounds good, guys.